Good morning, and welcome to the Board of Mayor and Alderman Work Session. This is March the 5th, 2026. We'll call this meeting to order. Are there any public comments? Seeing none, we'll move on to the approval of the minutes. Board, you've been provided the minutes for the March 5th, 2026, that says 2025, but 2026 meeting. Are there any questions or corrections? Okay, well, those minutes will stand approved as presented. And now we'll move into our, I'll report right quickly. Alderman Allen and Vice Mayor Bradford will not be here today, so we'll move on with the department reports. And first up is Public Works Director Jack Williams.
The auditors first.
Thank you, Mayor. Good morning.
We skipped the auditor, and we don't want to skip the auditor back because it's very important. We
didn't want to make sure you were awake.
I just said if you were ready, okay?
That was practice, Jack. That was practice.
You can come forward, sir.
Good morning. I'm even more on the spot than I was before.
That's right.
I appreciate you guys having me here. I'm here to present the annual financial report for fiscal year June 30, 2025. We are in the final stages. We issued our report March 2nd, 2026. It's still in the final stages of approval and review. But our report, we issued an unmodified opinion, which is a clean opinion, the opinion you want when you're working with financial reports. We did not identify any material weaknesses or significant deficiencies. There were several deficiencies that were noted in the previous report, but based on our reviews and testing, those were all corrected for this fiscal year 2025. And we did not identify any new issues that came up. So that's a good thing. Those were all corrected. Just a few kind of financial highlights. Total assets on the statement of net position totaled $84.6 million. That was up about $2 million in total from the prior year. Total net position, $66.7 million, and also that was up about $2 million from the prior year. Total governmental activity revenues, $28.6 million. That was down about $10 million from the prior year, but that was because in the prior year there was some shared bond proceeds with the county did not come through in 2025. Expenditures remained pretty much the same, $28.4 million for 25, just a very slight decrease. But again, they stayed pretty much the same, and then your revenues pretty much stayed the same, with the exception of those bond proceeds, which obviously isn't an every year type thing. But total revenues for the entire city, governmental and business type, $114.5 million. That was down about $7 million. So the business type activities had a slight increase, which aided to that $10 million drop. There's a couple more total capital assets at the end of the fiscal year 25, about $315 million. That was up $17 million from the prior year. Total debt dropped about $3 million. No new debt and just paying down the existing debt. Budget-wise, everything was very favorable. I think one of the issues in 24, there was some budget issues, but those were rectified in 25, and everything happened. Like I said, everything was favorable and happened as it was. Do you guys have any questions for me? Everything was very straightforward. I really appreciate the working with Mr. Owens and his staff. Sorry, I jumped. If you have any questions, then please feel free.
I was going to ask how the calculation for total assets was determined. Was there, I know that we have been in a process of doing a really in-depth inventory of what we actually have as a city. Is that 84 million based on previous, I guess, lists of inventory, or how was that determined?
Well, total assets is a combination of all your cash, investments, cash equivalents, and then your receivables. Inventory does factor into that. Capital assets factors into that. On your statement of net position, there's a difference. Statement of net position is a government-wide financial statement, which includes capital assets and certain assets that don't show up on your governmental fund balance sheet. due to the nature and the two different ways those are presented. But to answer your question, it's a combination of inventory, assets, receivables, and cash equivalents, investments. All of that goes into your total assets.
Okay.
And when did you say we should receive this report?
It's under final review. As soon as they get one more good look at it and give me the okay, then we're good to finalize it, submit it to the state, and do what we need to do to wrap that up.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you for your time.
Drum roll. Public Works, Director Jack Williams. He's not here. Come on, go on.
Thank you, Mayor. Morning. All right, we'll just get right into it. So the first thing we have is the seat wall cut. You can see by the drawings, I think you guys have everything. So on this first one, it kind of pinpoints where we're talking about. It's actually right in front of the barber shop right there. So kind of how this has come about, I've had several calls, complaints, issues. Once the fire happened, we had to block off the entrance. One of the entrances through our seat wall that goes into Senor Lopez area. So that's not accessible. So while we're down there in the burn area, just watching, I could see people climbing the wall, more than half. They would just climb over instead of walk around. So there's some safety concerns there, with falling, tripping. And it's pretty much the whole length of the block to get to that end access point to get there. So our thinking is to cut an opening, if you can see where we're talking about, right there at the barber shop door. This is not to please any certain person. This is for the safety issues and for what we have going on right there. I'd like to we're thinking approximately 5 feet because we're restricted by the lamp post, and then there's a swell in the concrete. So I'd like to try to get as close to 6 feet as we can, because that would allow, two-way, if somebody meets there, that's what's kind of asked for, but we'll try to get what we can. Public Works can do the cut, the work. We'd have to have the mason come back. Could be the mason that did it or whoever. We probably may have to get a quote, but we're looking at probably the cost of the city is around $1,500, something like that. The Public Works will do most of the grunt work. We just have to have somebody come and recap the brick. And I also wanted to add that I didn't talk with my committee. There's another area, if you look to the very back at Senor Lopez. I don't know if you guys are familiar. If you go there, there's a wall that comes right up to his door. It was pretty much the design kind of missed it right there. It was just an area. When that door is open, you basically have, 30 inches between that and that wall. So my idea was, while we're in there, cut to drop at least 2 feet off the end of it. Structurally, it's not going to hurt anything. Cut it back about 2 feet, cap it again, and then that would give him way better egress. Because when that door's open, there's no traffic flow. And we always need 5 feet of flow according to ADA, so as we go around. So we'd like to try, that's just in addition to while we're there. If we do this, if you guys approve this, it's your wall, whichever you guys feel about it. But that's kind of where we're at with it right now. So if you have any questions on it?
I think it's a good idea
Why
to
don't
bring that in while we're there.
Why don't we go all the way? Why do we only do 2 foot? Why don't we just go ahead and take it to the front?
You're talking about Senor Lopez?
Yeah.
Just aesthetically, I thought maybe leave some, but if that's what you guys want to do, that's what we'll do.
Do you need something there, though, for stability of that wall?
I mean, if the underpinning is rebar enforced and you
Right.
have the.
Yeah, that wouldn't be a problem there. And I can, if you want to do that, if that's your recommendation, I'll check with the engineer again, Brad, with Croy, and make sure that he's okay with it. So you're talking about, Joseph, a clean cut and just have it end with no turn?
Right, and it looks like there is a slight grade there, so that could be a problem, but I would at least entertain that.
There is a grade there.
So that could be a stopper to it. If there's too much of a grade, then you're gonna have a concrete patch that's gonna be graded down, which could be a tripping hazard. So that could be our answer there, but.
Yeah, I don't see if that would be issue. If that's, if that's what you recommend we do, that's what we'll do. But I'm suggesting no less than 24 inches. Drop it back 2 feet so that then from there, whatever you guys suggest or recommend.
I'm fine with, if no less than 24.
No
Give
less
you
than
the
24.
latitude to go all the way to the end if it's possible, but I think that decision. I'm
And
fine
possibly could be a little more than that one, because they weren't there, and I needed to open the door. What I like to do is open the door at that parallel point with the wall, measure, get 5 feet from the door, and then cut the wall right there. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
So no less than 24, and if it takes a little more than 24 to get that, when that door is open, you got 5 foot to walk around it when somebody's going in, then I think we would be good. And that's really what it needs to be. That should have been the design, so.
Yeah, I think it's a well-earned lesson that
Yeah,
when that 2D drawings come in,
So
we have to understand what
yeah.
that means in an actual real-world situation.
In the future, we're looking at those, when that happens, make sure that, those entrances are clear.
When that door opens outward instead of inward like most others. Cause a challenge with that.
Yeah. So that's what we're proposing.
So when the fire happened, the fence had to go up on the Senor Lopez end, which cut off the entrance on the
Yeah,
east side.
totally cut it off.
Totally cut it off.
Mhm.
So therefore, then, there was only one entrance on the west end,
Mhm.
so
All the way to the end,
cutting
yeah.
this
Yeah,
open.
the travel distance is quite long, and like I say, I sat and watched and started observing, and people just decided to climb over. I know,
Even prior to the fire, people were climbing over.
yeah. Yeah,
They're really climbing now.
right, yeah, so it's,
And that just opens up a risk.
and once we pull it out, the footing will still be there. If you guys decide, once everything is put back the way it was, once all the buildings are built and the walls are reestablished, the design is back to where it was, it can be put back. It can be, the brick can be removed, the wall can be put back just like it was in the
Let's
future.
get it where we leave it.
Yeah, we're not
Yeah.
I'm just,
That's right.
I'm just throwing it out there. This would be, it wouldn't be a totally permanent thing, so just throwing it out there. Because eventually will open back up.
But
But
it's
it-
gonna be a year, maybe,
It could be a
longer.
while, I'll talk about that a little bit, it could be a while.
But the mason's coming to make it look good. I mean, I think it'll be just fine.
Yeah.
Leave it open.
When it's done, it'll look like if it's the first time you'll ever see it, once it's done, you'll think, well, that's what it always was.
Right.
Yeah, we'll try our best to make it not look like, it should blend pretty good. And we still have brick left over from the job. We saved about 1,000 brick for reasons like this, and when ends get knocked off. But anyways, so we have the brick, so it's basically some labor to get it redone, a little concrete and a little mortar, and the rest of it, Public Works will do the demolition. My guys like tearing stuff up, so they can't wait if you guys decide
Need
to.
any help, let me know. I'm really good at this.
Okay, Debbie, we'll move that on to Tuesday night to vote on because it does affect the budget.
I also want to just make the comment that I appreciate the openness to making changes. Even though we're past closure of this, I think it says a lot for Public Works. I think it says a lot for this board that even when we know that from the beginning it probably was wrong, that we're open to make changes and make sure that it's feasible for the whole
Yeah,
community. So.
I agree, and it'll be well received if it happens, so.
Okay.
Okay. So next. As far as the fire, right now, we're working with all the building owners. The biggest thing right now is we got to get the wall that's at Senor Lopez, that's number one, to get it down. Until then, we're not gonna allow anybody in that debris, the debris field, demolition, destruction zone, whatever we're gonna call it. Just for simply the fact that we don't know if that wall could fall, teeter at any time, so no one's allowed in his building. As far as the engineer report we got so far from his side is, if we take the wall down to about 2 foot above his roof line, then we're good. That wall's good, his building's good. He's got some cleanup to do and some water damage and stuff like that, but as far as we know, his building's good. Contrary, you may have heard things, we haven't condemned it. structurally seems to be sound. The engineers gave a good report for him. Basically, the only reason I've got it posted no entry is because of that wall. We can't have anybody working in there, just the vibration of what could go on if that wall falls toward his, anybody would be crushed. I mean, you just don't have an idea of the weight of what's up there. So right now, that's where we're at. Get that wall down, that's a priority. The insurance companies, we have several that are having to work together, so they're working with each other to get that done. And that's priority, so no one goes in there until that's out. And so we won't remove any debris or anything until that wall's gone, because other, it could fall this way into the debris field, and it would crush somebody. So until then, we'll keep it quarantined like we have it. Once that's down, we can clean our sidewalk, probably pour some temporary fill patches and get it passable, usable for pedestrian usage like before. And then the wall the containment wall would move up to the property lines, the edges, and then it's on them to keep it safe and sound, and then we could get our traffic back going. What we would do would be temporary, get some of the concrete patch that was knocked out. We remove that section of that seat wall and all that. There'll be some patching done and leave it open for construction, whatever happens. So that's kind of where we're at. I've talked with Randall Harrison, he's with TDEC, and also the waste management manager. And asbestos is the biggest thing that we're dealing with, trying to figure out what we're going to do with that over there. But we've got that under control of things. So that's why the pile's still sitting there, if you're wondering, and if you're asked. So.
Is there any concern with when we go in and take that 2 foot or whatever the requirement is on the Senior Lopez wall, that there's any roof damage associated with?
Yeah, they're going to chat, and I talked with Berto that owns the buildings, and I said, you need to get someone to check out, because if there is damage on his roof now, he needs to make sure he reports that, and then they're supposed to be protected in a way when they take that wall down, so that, because some could fall his way, so once it's down, they'll have to go back and check too, see if there's any damage there. But we're up there looking, and so far, nothing was damaged on his roof. I don't know how it wasn't, but it wasn't, so. So right now, that's where we're at. And it'll probably be a brick by brick removal to get that thing down. So.
Any other questions?
I had questions about the sidewalk that was damaged. Do we have that, is that insured by the city? Like, what's the?
We're actually going through a process with that. Monica has been looking into all of that, so it's still
Okay.
being delivered.
Okay.
So,
I'm good.
Okay, Jack.
As far as my report, I guess biggest thing we're looking at is paving. I know it's a big thing. So I did talk with Tony Gross with Lincoln Paving. They're going to be available for us maybe around the middle of April to do some more. We will spend what we have left. We have a little bit left. We've picked out a couple of streets that have always been on our radar. I know there's some that really need it, probably worse now that they've been with the water line project. But the streets that we're looking at have been cleared for no more utility work. So that's what we're looking at. And we'll get him to do what he can for us. And then hopefully next year we'll try to get some more going. So.
Any questions?
That's all I got.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Next up, Police Department, Chief Jennings.
Morning, Mayor and Board. First, we got up the first Saturday outdoor market permit that starts in April through October 20 this year. That will need to be moved forward. It's been approved. The Slauburger Festival permit is April 18th. So that's been approved, and also the 22nd Annual Blue Ribbon Walk permit, which is May the 7th. Those have been approved by the
Where
police
is
department.
this Blue Ribbon
It-
event occurring?
It starts at the fairground. It's, my understanding is a representation of Junior's house. They start at the fairground, and then they walk up around the square and then back to the fairground, and there's a big event that goes on there that day.
Okay, all right, thank you.
They do that one every year.
Yes. Okay.
We had a request to update the event permit ordinance, And all we're asking, is to change language in there, is just stating where the community that wants a permit, they must come to the police department instead of the city office. That's all we're requesting to change.
Do you have any questions on those, changes in the ordinance?
Chief, I see on here, there's also the question of, should this also include police on section 9 for the authority to deny or revoke any permit? Is that an ask right now, or was that just posed?
I think it was just, posed, it's not an ask right now, because I think in the paragraph before that, it says where it goes, it comes to the police department, and then I have to approve it.
Right.
And then it sends it to the board.
Okay.
Approve it or deny it.
Okay, so this change is only on, in the 15-802,
Section 1.
section.
Correct.
We'll need to move that on because it does affect the ordinance.
Also, it's that time of the year, we ask for a resolution to apply for the 2027 THSO grant. We got seeked and got permission last year. It's a $10,000 grant for 2027. It was supposed to be, it was a $10,000 grant for 26, but we received a call about 3 weeks ago where they ran into some money problems and they had to cut the grant by $2,000. So we hadn't spent that money, so we still got the $8,000 and we're putting it to use. So, but it's, next year's grant is for $10,000, so we're asking for a resolution to apply for that. Police department update, everything's going well. We were one officer short. We interviewed this past week and yesterday. We had a total of 6 applicants. 2 of those were certified, and I plan to present Manager Owens a request to hire today of a certified officer. So it's been going well for us. We have 2 that will, 2 officers at Toledo, and that will graduate March 26th, I believe March 26th, and they will be ready to come back and get started. That will leave us with 1 uncertified officer, and she starts March 29th. So it's moving right along.
Good, good.
That's all I have for the police department, unless there's any questions. We'll go into animal control real quick. The only thing for animal control, we're bringing this, I think I was out sick the last time we brought this up, and I thought there were some questions with the animal control policy. We're bringing that up to see if we can get that passed. This also has to be passed by the county since it's a joint venture. So we're bringing that back up, and would like to get that passed if there's any questions on it.
Any questions?
I had a question last month, but it's resolved now. I've answered my own questions.
Oh.
I think I'm good. Sorry for the delay.
No problem. Animal control update. As of today, we have 51 dogs, and we're working on a transport out to Horse Plus. We're also today we're going to set up accounts with the 2 veterinary clinics to do spay and neuter of cats, to help these ladies out that volunteer their time and their own money out in the community. So we're going to help them. We're going to put $1,000 each in each account to help them with spay and neuter costs. So we're doing that today as well. I know it seems like we do a lot of transports out. Fills up really quickly. For instance, as of 2/18, we only had 25 dogs in that shelter, and now today we have 51. So it's going. There's dogs coming in every single day. So
Yeah, I think the transfer out is really the key to how we I mean, especially, I know we transfer out locally or regionally, but really like up north and out west, they have such higher enforced animal control laws that they kind of want dogs to adopt out.
Right.
So, I know that in the past, there's been some transports out to Colorado, up north. So I would just encourage that transfer out as much as we can. It cuts down on cost on us to keep them in the shelter. But I appreciate all the work that's been done to bring us up to this point, because we were in quite, or the city at the time was in quite the dire need when that whole situation happened. So I appreciate it.
Well, thank you. Everything is credit to Commander Rodriguez. He's done an excellent job with this. And I clearly picked the right one to lead that effort. So he's done excellent. And
He has done, Chief, also, you reported that the cost for the transfers is going up, so.
yes, the normal, I can't remember the exact amount, but I know for large dogs it doubled. And then for small dogs it tripled. So we're on average, and on average of transporting 25 animals is gonna be over $1,200-$1,300.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I would just not be blinded by that number, because
Right.
the cost of keeping them in the
Oh,
shelter
yeah,
for a long
true,
time
true, but I-
exponentially is more expensive than that. So-
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And that's my report.
I had a question about, I think it was either last year or the year before, where we talked about the flock camera system.
Yes.
I noticed one across from the Shell station coming off of 110. Is that a city one or is that a county one?
If it's in the city, it's one of ours.
Okay.
We have 7 flock cameras that are being installed. Last I checked, the last email I got on the progress of that was, there was, I believe, 4 that had been installed completely. They would notify us when all of them go online, but and I can come back and give a report on that. But the ones, the county, I think, all of theirs are installed. And it's been a great tool to assist us in investigations. We've solved several cases with the county's flock cameras already.
And then I think at the time when we decided on that, it was a trial basis, right? Or did we go ahead and go and sign on to a service?
We did a trial basis, and then we came back and got permission to purchase 7. So that's subscription-based service.
Okay.
So we purchased 7.
All right, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir.
All right, thank you.
Okay, next up, Chief Berglund, Fire Department.
Good morning. First on the agenda is the Fire Com Rescue Grant. This is asked for forgiveness and permission at the same time. That deadline was February the 20th. It is 100% grant, no matching to it, so it's all grant money. And it's for nothing but rescue tools. This came through the mayor, sent it to us, and we had a time going through the grant, trying to figure out if we could actually apply for it. Because it is for rescue squads, and we're a municipality fire department. We finally got a hold of somebody in the fire marshal's office. They walked us through it step by step, telling us what paperwork to substitute for what the rescue squad has. And they worked with us very well, helped us to beef up our application a little bit, where, to be honest with you, we really didn't know what we was doing, and they just walked us through it. So we got that applied, so what I'm asking is a resolution for permission to apply. Again, I apologize. But it is, no money out of our pocket. The admin team and Mr. Owens decided to go ahead and apply for that and ask for that forgiveness at this work session.
Did we need to move that on to resolution, please?
And we did apply for about $50,000 worth of rescue tools. Next is the department update. I'll go through it. I've got it broke down in a few things. We are currently working with insurance to go through a list of what was damaged or lost in the fires on the square. We have a pretty good list that includes one set of turnout gear, a Elkhart ground or Elkhart attack nozzle, which is about $1,000 nozzle. 2 sections of 50 inch and 3/4. They're 50 foot each. and that's roughly about $500. We had 2 stream lights and 1 pipe pole that was damaged. The turnout gear is looking to be about right at $4,000. Our firefighter that sustained injuries, he had to have his turnout gear cut off of him. So his pants, his boots were damaged. I was talking with our admin team. I'm not comfortable with putting a brand new set of pants on a used jacket. I want it to be matched and wear the same. So we'll just go ahead and buy the whole outfit for him. Hopefully insurance will cover a majority of that. I'm sure they'll prorate it somehow. We have also had our fit and flow testing on our SCBA's completed, which worked very well. We had some that had to have some repairs, but nothing extreme. So they're up to date and ready to go. Brindley Mountain has also started working on our engines or repairing them, and for what happened up here at the fire, we had about 1.3 million gallons of water flowing through all of our apparatuses. So when that happens, some of the gauges get heated and some of them start malfunctioning from the use of it all at once. So our ladder communications has quit working on the tip to the base, and that is a requirement for a ladder to be certified. So they're also looking into that to replacing that as well. I was gonna do an insurance claim on this, but when we started talking to the insurance, it was for each individual truck. And I believe, I don't think we want the premium upgrade for what the cost of the repair is gonna be. So we're just gonna pay that out of our budget that's in our repair maintenance. We also just completed our ISO audit, that was Tuesday. It was a very good audit, in my opinion. We won't know nothing for another couple months, but the evaluator seemed very pleased. He asked very good questions and educated mine and Chief Gentry's mind on how we move forward. He didn't have any problems or didn't have anything that he didn't ask for, but he gave us some advice to say, hey, you might want to do this to capture this. And the first time I've ever had an ISO auditor wasn't worried about ISO, he was really worried about the community. He said, please focus on your community, and where your number falls, your number falls. He said, because sometimes people get tied up into an ISO number and not fire protection. So I really appreciated that, and I hope he stays with ISO for a while, especially for the next 5 years when they come back. So we'll be looking for that report to come out, fixing anything. I don't feel like we're gonna have to fix anything from his opinion, but again, we'll let you know on that on the update. We're still working on our MOU that I mentioned during our strategic planning. We're moving forward. I think we have a meeting on that today, right after this meeting. It is a lot of moving parts, just trying to figure out what we can do and what we can't do. And I've got a plan in place of if we can do it, how we recruit those funds that will cost the city. Our 3N Fire School, they're doing very well. They have passed one of their first exams earlier in this week. They have one today. I'll be waiting for a report back to them, see if they passed that, but they are all three moving very fast and really adapting to the academy, which I'm proud of. Last thing is, I wanted to mention about overtime. With our injuries that we have, we are utilizing part-time, however, it is still tipping into our overtime. So that has been an alarm of mine ever since we started using it, and we're just gonna keep an eye on that to make sure we stay within our lines. And that is my report.
Any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you. And, Parks and Recs, Director Browning?
Good morning.
Good morning.
First on our agenda is, it started to be a request to move money from 937 line item to our 265 for improvements. Basically I've spoken with administration, and it's become more of a information only. If you have any questions or concerns, feel free, but our plan right now, mentioned in strategic planning that we had roughly $25,000 that was in our air conditioning unit. Once the air conditioning unit, along with refrigeration, once they came in, they said, no, it's gonna be a lot more than that if you wanted to replace it. That $25,000 could help us out with our lighting at Don Davison. $16,200 would take care of that switch that would keep people from having to climb up the ladder to physically turn it on and climb down the ladder for games and practices. So that's what that 16,002 would be for. Also, there was a $3,000, $3,800 for the back windows of the rec center. Again, we had 12 of them completed last year, and slowly but surely we'll try to get all of them completed. Those 3 in the back are probably in the most need for replacing, so that money would also go there, as well as would have, I think, roughly $5,000 left over if all of it was moved, that would address our pickleball courts as well.
So right now, everything on the HVAC is good, no issues?
Well, there's nothing now. Of course, it hasn't, we won't really know. Last year, we made it through it. We replaced a belt about every 2 weeks, which was minimal, and everything went through fine. It would throw a belt, freeze up, replace it, and go for another 3 or 4 weeks, and we'd have to do it again.
Okay,
How, do you know how much it is? Did they quote you on a new?
$75,000,
Okay.
to replace the whole thing.
Is that gonna be in your 26, 27 request?
Yes.
Okay. And then on, the switch, I remember at one time, wasn't it remotely controlled?
Well,
Lights were?
the rest of the ballpark is on an app.
Okay,
Where-
just that one. was-
Just those 2 fields down there are not on the app.
Okay, and then I know there's, that park floods like
Correct.
crazy. I would assume you probably thought about this, but it's gonna be high enough where it doesn't flood, right?
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
It's up where the rest of the panels are
Okay,
located.
got it. Okay, that's all.
And with that one, it's a security issue. One of Nathan's guys have to go way up on the ladder in order to cut it off. If we having bad weather, you know,
Yes.
that's,
Understood.
okay, well, that needs to move on. Basically, it's in your budget, but you're moving it, so.
It's in capital.
It's in capital, and Loretta stated that it could stay in capital
Okay.
because of the project, so it's
what
just,
they're purchasing.
yeah, he's just moving it from using it for the HVAC to using it for something else.
Okay.
Okay. And as far as my report goes, we did have a new hire, Parker Sandlin. There's a young man who has a great work ethic, had a great interview, very excited about him. He hit the ground running and he was on the mower yesterday, so he's doing a really good job. Also, I didn't get a chance to be at committee due to a funeral, but we have been able, over the past 2.5 weeks, I think last month I mentioned Kids Park restroom being totally redone. Stone Bridge has been completed, with brand new paint job all over the place. There's new stalls are going up as well. So Kids Park and Stone Bridge are looking really good, and now we moved on to Farmers Market. Farmers Market's gonna be more of a challenge, but we feel like we'll still be able to achieve our goal with the monies we have in our budget. So they're looking really good right now.
Good.
We do have some upcoming dates. Volleyball draft, we had that last Saturday. We're still in the need of 3 coaches. We have right at 80 young ladies playing volleyball. So tremendous turnout for that. So if anybody wants to coach, please see me.
Is that a look at Kevin to
I
coach?
tried, yeah.
Yeah.
you should look the other way.
I think we might be a little height challenged.
Yeah, it will.
We had a great turnout for bingo Monday. Baseball draft will be this Saturday. We're in need of some more 3 and 4 year olds, but everything else is looking really good. We have, I think, right at 84 baseball players ready to go. So that is our baseball draft coming up Saturday. We're looking at March 14th, our Cars and Coffee at Stonebridge Park from 8 to 12. And the 21st is our annual Easter extravaganza. Abby's working really hard to get that lined up and doing a good job, got our prizes all in, Easter eggs are in, so we're just ready for that event to go. We have a lot of different things going on that day, so we're excited for the community on that.
Kevin's gonna be the Easter bunny.
Oh,
Yes. I'm
That's why
trying to
he
eat
cut.
the
oh,
eggs.
keep it.
Got my ears.
Oh, me, give me a visual. The 29th is gonna be our softball draft. We still have a lot of time for softball. Our numbers right now are about even as they were this time last year. So, I know we will have a great turnout for that. And that is my report. Any questions?
Any questions?
When did you coaches by?
For baseball,
No.
Or
for
volleyball? volleyball?
Yeah.
Yesterday.
Yesterday.
We start practice, the Monday after spring break. So 2 Mondays, we're practicing Monday, Tuesday, and Thursdays. We have so many kids to spread out over 3 days, so, any help would be welcome to get some coaches out there.
I wasn't thinking about me.
I was
was
really
gonna say,
thinking
I was thinking
you
about
were.
somebody else, so.
Already had your name down.
Jack Williams.
Jack was the coach of the year last year.
Oh, is he coaching again?
He is.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, planning and coach, Rick Gentry.
Thank you, Mayor. Good morning, Board.
Morning.
The first item we have is an item that was brought up from the Planning Commission. It's our annual report for 2025. It shows all of our active members and each month what was approved or denied. It lists out all of our projects. And then at the end, I brought it up in strategic planning. Our goal for this year, our project is updating the zoning district information. And we've kind of got that started a little bit. Jonathan has graciously put C1, 2, and 3 in a SharePoint drive. I've sent that out to all commission members. And then the ones that can help us work on it, some have a little more time than others. But we're going to be updating that, and our goal is to get that completed before the November election, just so we don't have a major board change, and keep that on track. I also put in there that we're updating the ICC codes. That doesn't necessarily go through a planning commission, but it will be a huge project that we complete this year, and it also changes the code that the planning commission does their approvals on for site construction plans. So this is just a document that we provide each year, and it's a little bit later because we were finalizing that project, but the planning commission did send it up for your approval by this board. We good to move that on to Tuesday? Okay. Item number 2 originated out of the Public Works Committee, but since it deals with permits and permit fees, it was moved under planning. And Mr. Owens had reached out to MTAS, and they said the best way to document this would be through a resolution. It's a resolution to waive the demolition fees for the 4 building owners that was affected by the fire. It deals with revenue, so they wanted us to bring it up for a vote by the board, but it would be 4 demolition permits at a fee of $25 each, so we're looking at $100 total. Now, we're still gonna do the paperwork to have it on file for our record keeping for each parcel, and in case the insurance companies or anybody ever needed it, or in the future, we know who actually did the demolition. More than likely, it will be one company to do the whole pile of debris, but we want it for our records. But through the meetings with the building owners and through some of our staff meetings, it was brought up to waive the fees, and so that's why it's coming to this board.
That, we'll move that forward for resolution.
And then lastly, for my department report, we did hold a BZA meeting on February the 18th. 2 variances were approved. One was for a sign ordinance for the Andrew Jackson Lodge at 109 Edge Hill Road. And the other was a variance to build a new single-family home on a vacant lot on Edison Street West. The variance was needed because the lot did not meet the minimum lot size requirement for the R2 district. Both of those variances were approved. We already have another BZA meeting scheduled for March the 16th at 9 a.m. We are doing that here in the auditorium. It was advertised in the paper, it's on the website, and we did send out adjacent property letters to let them know about the meeting. And it's for a variance for 502 Rocky Knob Lane. It's for the new house that was recently built up there. They're wanting to install a swimming pool, but their backyard, they basically don't have a backyard. It's pretty much that cliff. Our zoning ordinance requires swimming pools not to be located any portion in the front or side yard, but they do have a true hardship, so they're gonna present their hardship to the BZA to see if a variance will be approved. We are still working on the code update. We did take a small break to allow Chief Bergman to complete his ISO audit, and then all of our departments to get through our budget hearings. So we'll be back on track with that. Timeline is still the same, still plan to do the code update by July. Our permits are picking up for spring remodels and different projects. So Jill and Jack are actively working on several permits and inspections. Our property maintenance inspector also had another solid month. 97 violations were logged for February. And actually, she's had quite a few victories with some inoperable vehicles. They are doing, or she is doing, weekly sweeps behind the shopping centers. We've added that just on a regular route now. She's working with the property maintenance inspectors for the shopping centers as well as the individual businesses. So we're keeping a check on that. They're also looking for food trucks set up during the week. We had 2 new ones that were permitted last week. I can't remember if they were on there before I printed the log because we had to turn in the report so early to Debbie. But then there's also 2 this week that have completed the fire inspection and are in the process of getting their permit. So we're having a lot of mobile food vendors coming in, and so we're getting to our busy season. Spring break is usually the pivotal point where things kick off for us. So we're just trying to get prepared, and then within the next 2 weeks, Jill is also going to be taking her residential inspector test. Okay, so we're really busy.
Sounds like it. Any questions?
I know we had discussions, I wasn't at the planning sessions, that talking about moratoriums and zonings and things like that on some of the businesses coming in. Is there any further on that? Are we moving that forward, or are we?
We didn't bring that to work session. We still have more info to,
Yes,
before we bring that back.
we're still going to get with Attorney Hill and get some logistics worked out, but that was going back to committee before it comes to work session.
Just didn't want it to die.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Don't worry.
Okay,
We got you.
thank
Yeah,
you.
I didn't think I had to worry about that.
Okay, IT department, Jonathan.
Morning. I want to start my report by mentioning that I took care of the daily needs of all the departments regarding workstation printers and monitors. I've also been heavily focusing on getting cloud backup for the city for all of our information, storage, anything digital. Due to the recent fire across the street, I think a disaster recovery plan is essential for the city. We used to have a cloud backup, but it was not maintained prior to me being hired. So I recently found out that the company that used to provide that no longer does so. So I'm working with a new company named Heartland to get our cloud backup to where it needs to be. What C1 used to do is they used to provide our Wasabi license. Wasabi is the application that's used to do the cloud storage. Now Heartland will be providing that for us. With Heartland, I also updated the license for Veeam. Veeam is the application that captures the backup for all of our servers that we need. That includes NextGen, which is our local government, where we store all of our documents, and also the police department's RMS database. I've also been working with Debbie to finalize the budget for IT. I believe we're pretty much done with that part. Maybe there's 1 or 2 things we have to get finished there. Also wanted to lastly give an update on the printers. We were supposed to get a printer for animal control. We are still unfortunately waiting for that. We also added a printer for the front of the municipal building so we can print out receipts on that. Hopefully we can get those at around the same time so we can get those installed and set up by next month. That is my report. Is there any questions? Thank you, guys.
Great job. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Okay, we'll move to finance and reporting on that. I think it's Kevin Owens.
Good morning, board.
Morning.
The financial report will start with the first item is for a budget amendment from the school system and it is included in your package, but this is basically from the STEM grant, money received and returned. So that is the first item.
Okay, we'll move that on, if everybody's okay.
The second item we have is our budget amendment number 10, and this one is, within this budget amendment, we have received a donation of $3,100 for the Christmas employee celebration within the police department, and we need to move this back to the supplies line item in the police department, which was initially paid from. And then also we have in the fire department, we're moving money to cover their phone expenses with the ceasefire. No additional funding is needed, they're just moving the money. And we received a 1,000 insurance check from the stairs and steps that was broken, and we need to move that into building maintenance. The police department is moving money into travel from some other items, which is included. And we also have the $65,622 from the state grant, the William D. Jones grant, that was an overage that the board decided at strategic planning that we wanted to do some paving. And so we wanted to move that to the paving line item. Parks and Recreation is moving money within their budget for phones. No additional funding will be necessary. And in the sanitation, we need to move money for the garbage. I think it was 9,000. No additional money will be needing, but we do need to move that. So all of that will be included in the budget amendment 10. Any questions?
Any questions on this ordinance? Budget amendment? Debbie, could move that one forward, please?
And we also, and thank you, Debbie has provided this, we've been looking at CDs, the current CD we have, it matures as of March 15th, which will be a few days after we meet the board, which the board meets. We did put out a proposal to see local banks' willingness to do CDs, and what we can do. What you have on your desk are the ones that did respond, and what we would like to do is possibly Tuesday have a recommendation, so when it matures in 2 weeks, that we can move accordingly.
Any questions?
Do we need to make the recommendation here and then have the resolution ready for Tuesday?
I think you can even do it as Tuesday. I mean, I know things are changing, and we'll try to make a quick update if anything changes.
I mean, I think we ought to decide, I think that 12-month, 325
Yeah, I think
is the way to go.
Is this 6 months?
That's
Okay.
both of them
Okay, yeah.
are
6 months
325.
and 12
12
months,
months,
yeah.
okay, yeah. 3 to 5, okay.
yeah, I agree.
I don't know why we don't do that forward now, just vote on it.
Everybody okay with that? Do we need a vote?
I think
Now, or just
Tuesday
move
would be
and
fine.
vote? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll just move it with the resolution. Okay,
And as far as our comparison report, monthly report, we have our local sales tax in the month of February was $399,100,024. This was an increase of 5.9 from last year this time. For our state share sales in February 2026, it was $90,101. This is an increase of 3.8. And then, of course, we're still dealing with our occupancy tax. In February 2026, it was $7,505, and that was a decrease of 11.3%. And our cash and revenue and expenditure reports are included in your iPads. I also want to take time, we have announced our new finance director, and Natalia Burton was selected out of 16 candidates. We had 9 that made it to second interviews, but of the 9, we had Natalia stood out, and we also had MTS representative and department heads, as well as Debbie and Monica. But we went through there, and I want to officially introduce Natalia, who starts Saturday as our new finance director, and she's observing, and I think she would do quite well. She and Candace held interim while Loretta was out, ill back in the fall, and they did quite well, so they're very anxious to get started. She's very anxious, so that's our new finance director.
She started this past Saturday?
She will.
Oh, she was coming up. I was going to say the last Saturday, she got thrown to the wolves with all the things.
Well, she did, and she got a little taste of what's coming up, so. And speaking of last Saturday, we, Candace and Natalia worked last Saturday, which was our last day for property tax collections in this, season. And as of, Candace did do a report, and I do want to commend both of them, as well as a lot of support, Debbie and at times Jill, but everybody did, and we had 89% collection. Within the last 2 weeks, we had 1,600,000, which was a really good number. Over the season, we had 3.6 million collected in property tax. So a lot of credit go to this team for doing what they did do, because our numbers were a lot higher than in previous years with collections. So I do want to commend them for being very diligent and doing as they did to make sure we had everything done.
How many probably showed up Saturday? Did y'all
Ah.
have a number? It was a
We
lot.
had
Not
not a
many.
lot.
Not
The
many,
county
but-
had more than we did. But we did have some
I don't know the
consistency.
exact number.
I counted 20 when I left, 20, about 20.
Do you think that the partial payment kind of helped with the increase of,
I'll let the ladies, you want to speak on the Candace, because she's capital.
I do think partial payments have helped. What we've been doing is when anybody's coming in to pay the 24 taxes, we're kind of giving them that recommendation. Start making your payments on 25, try to get it caught up. So then when you get October, you're not trying to pay two different bills. So we have seen a big increase in partial payments just in the past month. And I think that'll help with our delinquent taxes too.
good?
Unless there's any other questions, there are no further questions, direct them to Natalia.
Uh-oh. Okay, so if no other questions, we'll move to the administrator's report.
Okay. And with the city administrator report, you did receive what happened in the previous month, but as we move forward, we're working very hard with grants. I think every department is looking into grants right now, and we have a meeting in the morning to prepare for the CDBG grant, so we're working very heavily on grant, whether we are looking at doing reporting or whether we're looking at submitting grants. So that is something that's ongoing. We are, I think Mrs. Gentry mentioned about the department budgets. We're completing department budgets within the next week, so we are officially in the budget process. It's gonna be a steep hill. Natalia has a lot to learn, and we will be moving very consistent over the next 6 weeks in order to get a budget prepared and submitted to the board. And just to remind, we did talk about this in the finance committee back last week, but our first budget session with the board will be on April 21st, and that meeting will be set at 4:30, and then we have one set again the following Tuesday, which will be April 28th. And Debbie and I will work to get those notices published for the public. In the next few weeks, we'll be working on ADA plan for the fiscal year 25-26, and that will include what we do with the money that was allowed by this board in this fiscal year, as well as looking at funding and plans for the 26-27 year. We did get a lot of good input with fleet management at the strategic plan, because that's gonna be a ongoing and it's gonna probably take multiple years. We will be meeting with that again in the next couple of weeks. You heard a lot about the square fire estimate. We got everybody's working in different capacities on that, but we're still working on security and safety. Davey and I were just mentioning, we gotta look at the fencing and how we do move with that. We're still looking at traffic flow, whether pedestrian or cars in the midst of this right now. Insurance, working with the merchants, a rebuilding plan, and any partnerships. We also looking at some property and real estate management We're getting more and more concerned on how we deal with property and real estate management. And finally, we kind of looking at economic development plans because we do have a few issues within the city that we need to kind of address. So these are some of the things we'll be working on in the next few weeks until we meet again in April. Any questions?
Okay.
We skipped the adopt a strategic plan.
Oh, I'm
There's a
sorry,
draft
I
in
missed that.
there.
Like you did. And we do need to do a resolution for strategic planning.
Okay, so we're moving on to Tuesday. Before we adjourn, I would like to say thank you to Commander Jesse Casillas. I received a call about a health situation at the apartments across from the federal high school. And we're not sure, it's a bird issue, and it was a mess. And I thought, okay, this, I gave it to, she went to the health department and got no help. They told her to call the city mayor. So I got with Commander Casillas, being the health officer, gave him the situation, and I think we both were shocked. He went out there, took pictures, saw what was going on, and just shocked at the pictures and what was happening at that apartment. There were dead birds, there were feces, it was everywhere. He got right on it. He sent out a report, and the management at the apartments, I think, have gotten on it, started to address it. I'm sure he'll be checking back. Maybe the birds got displaced with the Beard Mill Bridge, and so they just moved to the next hill. I'm not really sure why, but this was truly a health hazard. So I just want to say thank you, Jesse, that you got right on it and got it taken care of. So I just want to say thank you. So with that, if we don't have any other questions, this meeting is adjourned.